Ooh, Chris. Sizzle, sizzle.
Sizzle, sisters. Well, should we address the
Elephant in the room? You guys notice anything different?
First person to notice what's different, comment down below. And
if you're on visual, if you're not on visual, please just pop over for like 2 seconds and see what's up.
It's a cool one to pop over for you guys. It's a really special set today.
It's a really special set.
Well, if you can't notice what's different, get your eyes checked. But look where we are, you guys. We are at Bicycle's headquarters, which is truly my Make-A-Wish. This is crazy.
It's this whole weekend. I've just been like, if I would have told little me, or even 2 years ago me, this would have been crazy.
Absolute insanity. We have so much to catch up on. We will get there. We also are vlogging the whole weekend, so you guys will have a vlog on this channel very, very soon, which is kind of crazy to think about. We don't have any videos on this other than the podcast. And we did like a behind the scenes shoot for like season 2 or something.
Oh, true.
With Nezrin. But other than that, you guys will be getting a vlog of everything. So it's been a lot of fun. But hello, happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
I didn't know I could feel like that.
So yeah, where are we?
We are in we're in Kentucky.
Kentucky right now, right? Okay.
We are in Erlanger, Kentucky.
And if you see us looking off beyond the camera, we have our fact checker on site, Mr. Chris. He works here at Bicycle, and he's quickly become one of our great friends. He's been showing us around the city. We had a lovely dinner last night, and
he's also just a wealth of knowledge.
Oh my God, he knows
about
everything ever.
Everything
ever.
Like, so if you see us like, okay, wait, what? He'll at some point maybe pop in and give you guys some fun facts
about everything.
Ever.
Yeah, so we got here
Thursday.
Today is Saturday. Why do I feel like we've been here for such a long time?
Yeah.
I feel like I live here now. We got here Thursday, and we got here bright and early. Alex got here earlier than me. We checked into the hotel. Hold on. The hotel room situation.
You guys. Okay, so I got in at like 9 a.m. and the plan was I was just going to come here. I was going to work for the day in the hotel room.
Yeah.
And I got in and I went to go check into the room. And she was like, okay, you're all set for 1 king deluxe suite or whatever. And I was like, oh, is there any way I can get 2 queens? Assuming that me and Kristen are going to be in the same room. And
so we didn't book it. Bicycle completely like got us
Took
the
care
hotel
of
and
us.
everything. It was amazing. But yeah, so that's why we were confused. We're like, oh, only 1 bed. Like,
right.
We want to sleep separate.
Right. So I was like, is there any way we could switch that to 2 queens? And she kind of looked at me funny. She was like, yeah, sure. And she was like, how many keys do you want? And I was like, 2 is fine. Like thinking it's going to be both of our names on the reservation.
Right.
And I'm in the hotel room, normal day. Kristen gets in a little later in the afternoon, and we're sitting in the hotel room, and we turn on the TV, and it says, welcome, Alex Coate.
I was like, what the heck? Why
am I not? Yeah, and then something clicked, and we were like, wait. Are we supposed to have separate rooms?
I felt like
it was such
wrong.
Yeah.
I was like, this isn't my room.
But having separate rooms felt like such a foreign concept to me. It didn't even cross my mind that we would be in separate rooms.
No, not at all. So we were like, oh, I think maybe we have separate rooms.
Yeah.
So we went down to the front. And they were like, oh yeah, Kristen McAtee, we have a completely different reservation for you. Which, duh, like, shout out Bicycle for giving us our own room.
Acknowledging that we're 2 human beings.
In our heads, we're like, nope, we stay together. Yeah. Like, it was a moment we were going down the elevator. I looked at Alex. I said, we need to grow up. Like, of course we have separate rooms because we're almost 30 years old.
We're adults.
And we're here for work.
Right.
But we're like, what?
No, we stay together.
Stay in the same room.
So we ended up staying in the same room still.
And we stayed Bicycle above.
Right. And it just made more sense. Like, we wanted to, like, get ready together and stuff.
It was...
I couldn't imagine
funny though.
Going back to my own room after having a day with you.
Running back and forth anyway. Like the way I would have just brought my shit into your room either way.
Exactly.
So it worked out, but it was a funny moment where I was like,
it was just funny because
is this a codependent relationship?
I mean,
yeah, a little bit.
The fact that it didn't even cross my mind that would be in 2 different rooms.
Yeah. I felt kind of childish, but whatever.
Who cares?
We're incredible room. We're at Hotel Covington. Beautiful stay. Like such a cool.
Couldn't have asked for a better situation.
So we get there, or I get there later in the day. It was like 4. Immediately get in the shower and start getting ready because a few days before we planned our trip here, Alex looked at just like shit going on in town. We as much as we're here, and we'll get into all the cool things we've been doing here at headquarters and whatnot, and the things we've seen, but
we wanted to see the area,
see the actual
and
city.
If you don't know, we are right next to Cincinnati.
It's
so
like literally the state line is
right
on the bridge.
Right. So we're Ohio-Kentucky state line.
Yep.
We looked up things to do both in Kentucky and in Ohio, Cincinnati, right there.
Right.
And we saw that Green Day had a show.
They're obviously on a big tour right now. I feel like we're the last people to know that. Because I told Monica that. She's like, yeah, dude, they've been on tour. I'm like, I didn't know that.
They're performing 2 of their albums in their entirety, like back to back, Dookie and American Idiot.
It was a long concert.
They were on stage, and they had 3 openers.
Yeah.
And they were on the stage for 2.5 hours.
And the show, I mean, if you've never seen Green Day,
oh my God,
like if you can, you must do it. It was an incredible concert.
They are so good.
They're just back to back to back. So you know how like usually in concerts they stop and they have crowd play, which I love.
Yeah.
And they like connect with their audience. It's not that they lacked connection with the audience, but they did it in a way where
it was about the music rather than just conversation.
They were there for the audience. They weren't like, ooh, look at us, we're performing, which is fine.
Yeah.
Like artists do that, but you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like
No, it was like everyone knew what was going on.
Yes.
And we all were just there to be nostalgic about 2 of their best albums.
Yep. It was so cool. The crowd was just full of garage dads.
Yep.
Everybody just looked the same. I've never felt so safe in a crowd.
Oh,
there was a point where I looked around, I was like, Alex, I like these people a lot. Like everybody was so cool.
Oh, everyone was so cool. We ended up getting seats on the floor. So it was at the, what is it called?
Great American
Stadium?
Great American Ballpark.
And it's where the Cincinnati Reds play. Mm-hmm. So they had all their floor seating was like down on the what would have been the field, and then obviously all the stadium seating. We were down on the floor. And we were
tickets were like $90 though. It wasn't terrible for floor seats.
Very well priced. I thought it was going to be more
spending money
for Green Day. But we were more towards the back, and we were just kind of like hanging out. Had a couple, the neutrals. If you guys haven't had the lemonade neutrals,
they're so good. And I also want to shout out how efficient this ballpark is.
Oh,
they have, so like usually when you're at a game or a concert, like you want to get to your seats quick. Like if you want to go get a drink or whatever, because you don't want to miss anything. They had these like built out liquor stores, like full,
like little markets.
Yeah, full what are those, like refrigerator, whatever where the drinks are in liquor stores, of tall cans and some like smaller ones. And then there was self checkout. There's people there like monitoring, so you don't like walk out and steal
ID
nothing.
And stuff.
But yeah, and they checked our ID. But it was so efficient. We were in and out there so quick.
It wasn't like a long beer garden line that we had to stand in. We all just grabbed our own bevs.
This is the shit you appreciate as you get older.
Yes.
So like I was like, wow, Alex, this is.
I love this. What's such a great customer experience.
And like that's one of those things that I will internalize. And just in case Alex and I ever open a sports stadium, which could happen, we'll do that.
Yeah. Now we know. We've gathered research about a successful ballpark.
Everything is market research for
kind of always. Always.
Whatever we end up doing. I don't know. That's on the list.
Oh, great experience. We were there. We had, like I said, those lemonade neutrals were fire. We're hanging out in the back, and this woman comes up to Chris, and she's like, "Oh my God, I love your outfit."
Everyone's so nice.
Everyone's
here too, by
so
the way.
nice.
Like, and not to say that people in New York are mean, but they're not as
They don't go out of their way.
Right.
They don't go out of their way.
The second I landed, people were like, "Oh, thank you for flying with us," and like not just the thanks for flying with us. Like, they genuinely were like so thankful that I flew. Everybody is so nice though. So yeah, this girl walks up to me, compliments my outfit. I was like, you're so cute too. And we got to talking, and I think her name was Kate.
Or Katie.
Kate or Katie, one of those. She lives here now, but she lived in Walnut Creek for like 10 years.
And that's
like down the street from where we grew up.
Yep.
So just a small world. It was just one
so
of those
crazy
moments. So then at one point we go get another drink.
Yeah.
And
so I was getting the drink, and this guy, you had stumbled up like next to me.
Yeah.
And the original plan was that I was just going to go get him and bring him back. But it was then me and Kristen getting a drink, and this guy comes up from behind us, and he goes, "Hey, booga booga." Whoa.
I just like where my head went.
Yeah, he did scare me. No, he didn't. He was very chill about it. He tickled me.
It was so crazy.
No, he super chill came up to me, whispered in my ear.
Super respectful guy. I didn't mean to paint this as like a creepy story.
No. He was
really cool.
He was so cool. He kind of just like stood next to us, and he kind of nudged us. He was like, "You guys want to go in the pit?" And if you listen to last week's episode, we sat here and we were like, we will find a way to go backstage and to get closer.
Yep. We were even saying, if any of you guys worked at the stadium, like hook it up, whatever.
And this guy just stumbled on next to us and was like, "You guys want to go up there?"
We were like, yep.
Yeah.
We literally like.
And what's crazy is I kind of felt bad for a second, because we were kicking it with Kate and her husband and her friend.
Yeah. I know.
And we were like, we're going to go get a drink. We'll be right back.
And then we didn't
but we couldn't pass this up.
And I have her number.
Oh yeah. Right.
I think maybe we should let her know the story. And I think she was so cool. She'd be like, fuck yeah, I would have gone too.
Yep.
So I'll brief her.
So he ends up like pulling out 3 different wristbands. I ended up taking them off.
We should have kept them on.
3 different wristbands.
A pit band, a guest band, and a viewing
side viewing
band. Yeah.
Wristband.
Yeah. A band comes out. The openers.
He stops the concert.
Fuck. So we go up to the pit, and it was just
we were right there. Right,
like we were right there.
We were right under them.
I could have flicked a booger.
Yeah.
And it would have landed on the guitar.
On Billy Joe.
Exactly. We were right there, and it was just one of those moments. Like, we literally looked at each other, and we were like, we're so lucky.
It was insane. Just the fact that he picked the 2 people.
There were so many people.
Oh my God.
He could have picked anybody.
Anyone. So his name was Justin. Thank you, Justin.
Big detail.
Big detail. So at the end of the concert, he was with his homies. And at the end of the concert, we obviously thanked him so much. And we were like, oh my God, you actually made our night. And he was like, yeah, check out our band. And I was like, oh, what do you like? What's your band? And he goes, 98 Degrees. And I'm like, the 98 Degrees? And if you don't know, 98 Degrees is... Yeah.
98 Degrees. Just
Nick Lachey, his brother, another guy, and then Justin.
Okay.
And I looked at him and I was like
what?
And he's like, yeah.
But he like so humble about it.
Oh my God.
He was
so humble. And the fact that he said
chill.
like, check out my band. Like,
he wasn't like, hey,
I'm Justin from 98 Degrees.
Right.
Like,
I would have been like, oh. But then like the way he approached it was so like,
oh my God.
It was just one of those nights that like something bigger than us guided us through a 100% night. It was insane.
And while we were there, these 2 such cute girls came up to us, and they were listeners, and they were like, oh my God, you're here. Like, we saw that you were going to Green Day and that you'd be in Cincinnati, but we didn't think we would ever run into you. And they were so cool. We ended up kicking it with them for the rest of the show. And they were like, you guys want to go out? Like, we can go kick it somewhere, play pool. And we're like, absolutely.
Because we wanted to see like
the nightlife,
the actual bar scene, and like the local vibe. I don't know, I would highly recommend any city you ever visit, like, do the local things, not the stereotypical things.
Right.
And you will have a better night.
Absolutely.
So we let them.
We ended up walking from.
Oh my God.
We walked from Ohio to Kentucky in one night.
Literally walked across the country. Because in our head, we mapped it right. it said 31 minutes. In our head, 31 minutes is what we're walking to Whole Foods to go to grocery shopping.
Always walk.
I always walk 31 minutes.
Always walk that amount.
It's different.
It's different out here. We were walking and we were like, oh my God, this is a long. It ended up being like over 2 miles.
I think it was like 2.8. And there's
after a concert too.
Yeah, we're junkies. Like, I was playing
The Fray.
Yeah, The Fray on my phone walking over the bridge. And then the people in front of us started singing with us. It was fun, like after concert vibes. But after the first mile, I was like, okay, this is
a lot.
Not fun. Because they have Lime scooters here, but you can't
cross the state border
line with them. So we had to do it old school.
Old school. We walked to the bar. The bar was such a vibe. Everyone, again, was so nice. Yep. A girl just ended up coming up to us, and she was like, hey, what's your name? And I was like, oh, my God, hi.
Yeah.
You're so sweet.
Her name was Ryan. Shout out, Ryan. I wonder if she listens.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But we just ended up kicking it with her and her friends. And ended up in the back smoking a cigarette with
some locals.
Playing
and that ring game too.
Oh, what's that? The ring toss game.
Like there's the rings on a string and you drop it and it has to like hook on it. We're playing that game with people.
And just everyone was just so nice. It was such a fun experience.
We played pool with
Marv
and Kevin.
Keith. Marv and Keith.
They were us in another universe.
They for sure lived at the bar.
Yeah.
Like they were regulars. They had their own pool sticks, and they were like going in and out of the closet,
like employees only closet
in the bar to like get their pool sticks and put them back. And
they were regulars.
Regular
schmegulars.
And we played them and we got kind of close.
We got to the 8 ball.
That's true.
Like we got there.
Yeah, I fumbled.
I think they were going easy on us too.
Oh, for sure.
These guys, like they could have.
They probably
closed their eyes
100%.
Because then they played another game right after, and
it was quick.
Super quick.
It was like, so quick. Our game was super long.
It was very long.
Yeah.
There was a point where I was like, okay, just take me out of my misery. That pool's always like that.
Always, especially when you're playing with someone who's good.
I'm like, this is fun for you. This is not fun for me anymore.
Right now, I'm just hitting the ball.
Right.
But it was a good time.
It was so much fun. The bar, what was it? Main
Village.
Strauss Village Tavern.
That's the one we were going. The Strauss House was the one we were gonna go to.
No, Main Strauss is where we went.
Oh, I thought it was different. Village.
Main Strauss Village Tavern.
Oh.
Let me fact
long
check
name.
That. Make it an acronym. Main Strauss Village Pub. Am I saying that right?
Strauss.
There's no U.
Oh.
Main Strauss Village Pub.
One word. Interesting. I've never seen that.
It was fun.
Yeah, very fun.
Hey, they got great reviews. 4.3 stars. 45 reviews on Google. For a pub?
We ended up liming home. Our hotel was just down the street from the bar.
I felt free.
Oh my God. And we rode by. Something must have went down. Remember all the cops that we rode by?
Yeah.
We
were like, we probably shouldn't be.
There were like 10 cops. And you remember the one cop like kind of got in front of us? If we would have been pulled over, I don't think you could.
What?
I don't think you could like lime. Remember we were talking to someone and they were like, they're super iffy about liming on the sidewalks and then on the street. Like there's specific bike lanes. We were flying through the center of the intersection.
So yeah, that was night 1.
And we woke up super hungover.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't know why I'm so hungover. Like when we woke up, I was like, we had like the neutrals. Like when we were in Yosemite, we were having high noons, which are pretty much the same thing. It's
and
a
like
vodka
10
seltzer.
A day.
Right. And I was not hungover once in Yosemite.
I think just because we maintained, like we kept.
And we were having like liquid IVs and like we were in the sun, and I feel like that's healing in itself. Whatever. I was also mad tired. Beside the point, I was hungover because I forgot, but in the pit, these 2 guys just like walked up to us. I don't. They kind of just like.
I don't even remember their names.
I don't think we got them.
No.
I feel bad if we did because I do not remember. But they had little like fireball shooters.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You want to split this with me?" And I was like, "Yeah." I don't drink Fireball, but in that moment, I'm like,
"No,
fuck yeah."
Who does? Like
Rhonda.
Right. My mom loves Fireball, guys. It's kind of crazy.
That's all I think of when I think of Fireball. But in that moment, what was I doing?
You were just being bold, and you were just being a yes man, which I'm glad you were.
And it was fun, but after I was like,
oh my God.
Why did I do
a shot of Fireball? Because we had started the night with a shot of tequila. We're drinking the seltzers the whole time, and they were tall cans, which is basically 2 drinks in one.
It's
So much.
And then I barely slept, so that, and then like I didn't have like a good amount of food. I had just like been snacking all day.
I had a
like,
hot dog.
But like that's like substance, you know? Like
You had the wings.
Yeah, I just didn't set myself up. It was one of those nights. Nothing happened. I didn't get sick or nothing. But the next morning, I was like,
we were a little struggle bus. We were
ugh.
struggle bus
Because we wear those party patches. I think we've told you guys about these. We got them
And
for
they work.
Gov Ball, and they're just like these natural patches. Like it has like green tea extract, a lot of B vitamins,
just like releases nutrients
L-theanine,
into
whatever. Yeah, stuff that
system.
should help kind of regulate your levels to avoid, I wouldn't say fully a hangover, but not as bad. It's like we didn't put one on.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
I think that they're broken.
Maybe they expire.
This episode is brought to you by NoCD. Ever had a disturbing thought pop up into your head, even though you didn't want it to be there, but you just felt like you couldn't stop thinking about it?
Maybe you worried about what this unwanted thought said about you, so you started continuously asking your friend for reassurance or Googled nonstop to see what it can mean. But no matter what you did, it didn't seem to help. And then maybe this spiraled into more intrusive thoughts, causing you daily distress. Did you know these experiences can be signs of OCD? There's a lot more to OCD than the stereotypes you might have seen. It's a debilitating condition that involves unwanted thoughts that totally conflict with who you are as a person, along with physical or even mental behaviors you may do to try to get rid of the resulting stress and anxiety.
And to make matters harder, OCD can latch onto literally anything in your life, your relationships, your sexuality, your morals, your identity, anything you care about. It can look different for everyone, but one thing is consistent. OCD is exhausting, frustrating, isolating, and can become totally debilitating.
But it doesn't have to stay that way because with the right care, OCD is highly treatable, and that's where NoCD comes in. With NoCD, you could do live, face-to-face virtual therapy sessions with therapists who really understand OCD and are trained in exposure and response prevention, or ERP therapy, the gold standard treatment for OCD. They can help you take the power away from distressing thoughts, reclaim your time, and get back to focusing on what you love.
Plus, NoCD accepts many major insurance plans and provides always-on support between sessions. To learn more about therapy with NoCD, go to nocd.com and schedule a free 15-minute call with their team. That's NOCD.com to learn more and book a free 15-minute call. Trust me, it's the kind of advice that you actually want to take.
Thanks, NoCD. We got out, we got ready. Yesterday
God,
was the day. I know, right? We came here and we literally walked in and everything was just so. We have been in awe. Disneyland.
Yeah.
We have been in awe.
So this is what I feel like when I go to Disneyland. What you felt like here?
Are you serious? Oh, I would. Now I get it. Because I would never leave.
Exactly.
I would never leave.
Exactly. It's been such a cool moment because if you've been a long time listener, you know, season 2, we were in the garage. In the garage in our old set, the little like bedroom set. And we had you guys reach out to Bicycle. We didn't think anything would happen. No. And now we're here. I mean, we have, as you guys know, a full deck with them you're right. I wish I could tell 2 years ago hey, look where you're at.
It's crazy.
When we originally connected with them, all we wanted was to just see the space. We were just happy to even see their fucking corporate email.
Yeah.
That was enough.
No, I will never forget when
we should frame that email.
When we got the DM, I was like, oh my God, Bicycle's in my DM.
Yes. I'm like,
it was such a crazy connection. And it's so funny because like we're here, we're walking around, we're getting like a crazy tour and they're like, yeah, this is our office space. But we're like, our jaws are on the floor the whole time.
Yes. Like it's there every day. But to us, like it's Disneyland.
And you guys don't realize that probably every single card that you have ever touched is USPC, which is the United States Playing Card Company.
It's crazy. Like go into your drawer right now. Any deck of cards that you have at your house, I could bet it's part of the brand.
It's Bicycle.
It's just
so crazy. And I haven't connected. It takes a minute to actually wrap your brain around the fact that they have been doing this since, what's the year, Chris?
140 is next year.
So 1860s is when
like for the whole brand.
Right.
And then bicycle.
1885. It's right there.
Right there. Read and weep.
It's just nuts. That's
It's
long.
so
That's
cool.
super old.
That's longer than I've been around.
Right.
To say the least.
To say the least.
It's just so cool that, I mean, I don't know. It's so cool for many reasons, but Alex and I obviously both come from like a marketing background, and I think we geek out over the longevity of such a household brand.
Yes.
And like, it just blows my mind to not only be around that long, but to stay so successful and pretty much run the whole card industry. I'm just saying.
I mean,
we didn't realize until we went and saw the factory, you guys.
You guys, seeing the factory, it's holding back tears the whole time because you're seeing something, and they're so passionate about what they do and how they make the cards, and everything is the reason why. So we vlogged the experience, but we weren't able to vlog the actual factory because,
which is kind of cool.
Right. Like we said, they are the only ones who do what they do, and their equipment is literally trademarked, and it's their secret sauce.
From the 1800s.
It's their secret sauce. So obviously they don't want it getting out there and like other people doing what they do, which would never happen.
Like you know when you look at a deck of bicycle cards and it says like the air cushion technology, that's their thing.
That's their shit.
You don't have to even be a crazy card player if you close your eyes and I gave you the air cushion and then another deck that didn't have that, you'd be able to tell the difference.
100%. And like, they think of everything. They only do that.
Whatever.
It's crazy.
It's
the whole process, and seeing, it's interesting because what did you
think we'd see?
Right. That like when you hear, oh, we toured the factory, you think it's going to be like first of all, they have a How It's Made episode, so you should go watch that.
Yes.
But you think it's going to be like mass production, big consumerism warehouse, but the detail that goes, and every single one of their employees has a fucking smile on their face.
Yeah, they were like, oh, hi, what's going on?
Exactly.
Like, everybody seemed very happy.
And the detail that goes into every single bit of the process of making cards and making the tucks and putting the cards
sticker
in.
Part was
oh
so
my
cool.
God, and seeing how each little arm folded each little bit of the tuck.
That was one of my favorite parts.
I mean, you really see the care and the detail that goes into every single bit of the process, and it just adds up.
Yep.
Like, it just makes sense.
They know how to do one thing and they do it
Perfectly.
Literally perfectly. And I think my favorite part was if I worked in the factory, I'd want this job. You already know what I'm going to say. I'm just going to call it this. I don't know what it's really called, but it was like the quality control part of it where it was like this big desk and they had three big screens to where their software or whatever is like picking out the tiniest imperfections that my naked eye would have never seen.
I'm talking I'll point to the big deck that we have here.
Yeah.
Like if this little line had like a drip off, it would catch that.
It catches it and then it zooms in and then I don't know what they do after that, but the fact that that's part of the job. Right. I would love that job.
Oh my God.
Be pull that card.
And then Craig was saying, so Craig is the president of
the United States.
The United States. Pretty much.
He's my president.
He is my
Craig
president.
is my president.
He was saying that they have a whole team that will spread a whole deck for eye quality control because obviously a computer
can only do so much.
Right. Is a computer and the naked eye could obviously catch, and they have a whole team that spreads decks and looks at every deck just to make sure. And it's
and he was even saying that some of those people or some people that just work in the factory are people who used to work in casinos. So the people who work here love what they do. And I geek over corporate culture.
Yeah.
We both do. We even tell you guys when you talk to us about how you're not loving your job right now, we're make sure before you apply to a place that you like their culture. And this is the epitome of that type of company. I love to see it. I really do. And we're not getting paid to say this, you guys. We are geeking out because this is just so cool to us.
And on top of it, I mean, taking it back, not only is it a company that cares about what they do, as on the consumer end of it, it's in every household.
Yeah.
It's in every household.
It's just cool to see honestly the full
Connecting
circle.
the dots.
Yeah. It always feels good when you support a good brand. Not even bashing any brand, just in general. Sometimes I'm like, are those brands actually that good? Are they saying that good?
Right.
They're that good for
Hyping,
marketing reasons, just to stay afloat or whatever.
Yep.
To actually come and
see it with our own eyes.
Like, it's just,
it's one of the, it's like one of those scenarios where I'm
faith
like,
in humanity restored kind of moment, you know?
Exactly. And it's one of those moments where, you know, you always have the option like, okay, I'm going to go to this mom and pop shop, or I'm going to get it on Amazon. And like a lot of the times I'll be like, I want to go to this mom and pop shop, but I will never have a problem giving my money to bicycle.
No, literally never.
Ever.
Literally never. Like, why do I feel like he has a personality?
You know he does.
If you're on audio, there's a giant deck of cards.
Huge.
Well, it's not a full deck.
We're sitting and it's as tall as us.
Yeah, it's big, and I feel like he's listening.
He is. He's like, thank you guys.
You're being so nice about me. Sweet boy.
He's just playing.
Oh my god, no! Like, why did I'm tearing up right now. When we were in the factory, and we saw all the decks going into like the next step, and they were on the conveyor belts. I was waving to them. They're having so much fun.
And then I think about they're gonna go to someone's house and someone's gonna be playing cards.
They're gonna open it and be like, "Finally, this is what I've been waiting." Give me a sec.
That's what they're supposed to do.
They're just doing their job.
God, this is crazy because we think about this every time we play cards. We're like, wow, this is really bringing us together right now. Like, there's something
Is
so
this too
like
niche?
I mean,
Have we taken the bit too far?
The way that we think we connect on a higher level when we play cards, is probably niche.
Oh my god! Oh, it brings tears to my eyes. There's no way we're not alone though.
No.
At least I don't know. Let me know. Let us know. Comment down below. So before the deck is separated, any deck is separated into the individual cards. They're on this like big sheet, which is actually like the same sheet that we had on digital.
Yes.
That we created everything like on, like, you know what I'm trying to say?
When we designed the deck, everything was on it was one big canvas where every card was next to each other.
And I remember when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's probably just because like it's a document.
Right.
But no, that's
like how they
it
print
prints,
it.
and then they go from there. It was so cool to see that we saw so many decks of like really iconic casinos.
Yes.
That was crazy. The casino division blew my mind. We weren't even allowed to see it.
No, because
Like,
there's so many rules and regulations as far as like who
can
touches,
even go back there.
Yeah, who can see the decks, who touches the decks,
because they're all pre-shuffled, so there can't be any like, I don't know,
you can't cheat.
You can't cheat. So yeah, we weren't even allowed to see that part. There's even like the archives we weren't allowed to see. Like, there's some pretty sacred shit here. But we have two really cool decks we wanted to show you guys.
When we say that they make every deck, they make every deck.
Like everything.
So this is a deck. Please pop over if you're on audio.
Yes.
This is a deck that is designed and made for probably a majority of the presidents of the United States. They get their own deck of cards.
Yep.
This one specifically is the Air Force One deck. So this is the deck of cards that is in the presidential plane.
It literally has like the seal on it.
And the front of the case is signed with whoever the deck is for.
Yep.
So it's for the presidents. They've done them for secretaries, anyone political.
Yeah.
But they
Lucky.
Right.
Wait, we have our own deck. So, are we president?
It says, "Welcome aboard Air Force One."
That's so sick.
Seal of the President of the United States. And they get their own deck of card and
Bicycle makes it.
Hello.
Oh, so careful with these.
So pretty. And Kristen is now holding, this is a deck of cards that is Tiffany & Co. They're just so pretty. All of the detail. I could stare at cards all day.
We did that yesterday.
Right.
we vlogged a lot of this. I know on visual, we're not like super close to the camera, so you guys can't see everything, but we vlogged a lot of footage of like up close holding some really cool stuff. A NASA deck that we saw that is literally made of fireproof
paper so that it can go into space. They worked with the team at NASA to make a deck that, because obviously when you're in space and the air shit that happens in a
that stuff
in the thing.
They do the thing in the space.
It can't be flammable.
Yeah.
So the cards that is the NASA deck is not flammable.
It's just crazy because it like we keep saying, it's just everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's just everywhere.
And they think of everything.
Yes.
And we geek out on this shit.
Yeah. We're taking it too far. I just keep looking at the viewfinder.
Right.
I'm like, I think we did.
Giant.
You literally have the thing, the logo behind Alex on the wall is what she has tattooed on her wrist. Like, have we taken this too far?
Superman? Fangirling to say the least.
Yeah. Enough of that. I'm sure we'll circle back. But on top of everything that we've experienced the past few days, when we talked about it on last week's episode that we'd be coming to Kentucky/Cincinnati area, people in the comments were like, what? Like, I live here. Like, I never.
No one ever
talks about us. Like, I didn't think you guys would ever come here. And I don't know. It like kind of made me sad because I'm like, everyone deserves to be talked about, whatever. But now that we've experienced, I'm like, people need to talk about this.
The
place
amount
more
of
and
times
more.
that we've said, I could live here.
We actually like talking about rent on a place that was like near a hotel because I could live here.
I could live here.
But I wanted to pull some really fun. These are Kentucky facts. I felt the need to lean Kentucky because we're just like physically in Kentucky right now.
And bicycles in Kentucky.
Right. So I pulled some from the internet. So
we're going to go through some
they
fun
could
facts.
Be right. But it's also the internet. So Chris, let me know if any of these
we
are
have
wrong.
our fact checker.
Yeah. He knows everything about everything. Kentucky is similar in size to Iceland or twice as large as Costa Rica.
Oh, I would have never guessed.
But
I have no scale. I have no knowledge of scale.
But just hearing that, I was like,
right. Twice the size
of Iceland.
Wow.
The Cherokee, the Chickasaw, and the Shawnee were the original inhabitants of Kentucky.
Wow.
Over 10 million barrels of bourbon are aging in Kentucky, more than 2 for every person in the state. The drink was first distilled there in the late 1700s.
Wow.
And over 95% of bourbon is produced here.
Okay, so when we were coming out, Chris, who
much bourbon.
Right. He was telling us about a whole bunch of spots that we can go check out and all the bars and stuff. And he was like, big bourbon area. So if you guys like bourbon, this is where you want to be.
We haven't had bourbon
we
yet.
haven't had bourbon.
We'll have it today. Because we're going to...
I'm scared to drink bourbn. I don't know why. I feel like you immediately grow a mustache.
We might get a mustache after this. Chris, is that where your mustache came from?
Am I wrong? Like, you drink bourbon,
that's such a good
you
point.
grow a mustache.
Just like it shows up. But after this, we're going to Factory 52. Again, it'll be in the vlog. You'll get it all there. But I guess there's this one bar where you can play war, right? With the bartender. And if you win, free shot? Correction. If you win, you get a free shot of Underberg, which is like a digestive, kind of like a Jaeger. If the bartender wins, we buy them a shot. So we're playing war after this. You gotta go first. I feel like you're pretty good at war. I like freeze.
I feel like it's all luck. Besides the slapping.
Yeah, the slapping is where I'm like I'm like too slow.
I guess the slapping is only slapjack. Do you slap in war?
I was playing war recently and we slapped. You like slap back in if you get out. And you do like sandwich, doubles.
That's
like,
slapjack.
Oh. That's slapjack is slapping a jack.
Those are the rules of slapjack.
Is that Egyptian rescue?
Yeah, I think there's levels to it. Yeah. But war is just highest card. Yeah.
I played with like 3 people though, so we were going around.
You slap in.
Yeah, and then you can like slap in if you want to get the whole deck.
Oh, this is just the epitome of like everyone plays a game and it's
you
always
call it
different. Yeah.
Yes. One of the games we play, Red and Black, it's a drinking game. People always are like,
ride the bus.
And at this point now I'm just like, yes,
sure,
ride the bus. I'm done correcting people, but it's called Red and Black.
It's called Red and Black.
It's very like regional, I feel like too.
Yeah, and like where you go to college.
Right. This one is kind of cool. I love fun facts. So all these are cool to me, but
they're all fun.
This one's super fun. John Bibb of Frankfort, Kentucky, made Bibb lettuce.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Like grew lettuce and then
I didn't see. You can't question me. Just not.
I can't have any question.
I don't have the why. I just copied and pasted.
So okay.
When a mama lettuce and a daddy lettuce love each other.
I'm gonna make it up, guys. He grew lettuce, I'm assuming, and then
it was like a really interesting looking
variant,
crop.
and he is now the owner of Bibb Lettuce. Okay, so we just got confirmation that that John Bibb is a horticulturist.
Was R.I.P.
Was big R.I.P. And he grew the lettuce that is now known as Bibb.
And completely changed the overpriced lettuce game.
Yeah.
Every salad ever, like I even think of Tess in LA. It's a Bibb lettuce salad.
Right.
And it's super overpriced, but it's delicious.
And I always thought Bibb came from the shape of the lettuce because Bibb is very like.
Oh yeah, like it looks like a baby Bibb.
Yeah, but it's not.
No, it's John Bibb of Frankfort, Kentucky.
The more you know. This is great. Yeah, that's a good one.
Right?
That was fun.
Another really cool thing. I don't know who, but Post-it notes were invented and made in Cynthiana, Kentucky in 1968. And I'm a big Post-it note fan myself.
Yeah, you are.
I got them everywhere.
You do. You have
like
a lot
psycho.
of Post-it notes.
Because that's the only way I can remember things.
No, that's good.
Yeah. Well,
wow. Biggest fan.
Shout out here. We've learned that though. There's a lot of like really cool things that started here.
Yeah.
Traffic lights were invented by Garrett Morgan, who was from Paris, Kentucky.
Okay.
So cool. Also,
he really
Paris
changed the game. Let's be real.
He made it super safe to drive.
He really changed the game.
Insane. This is the last one, but two Louisville sisters, Mildred and Patty Hill, wrote "Happy Birthday."
No, someone wrote "Happy Birthday."
What do you think? Is in the Bible?
I just thought it was just like one day someone was just like, "Oh, happy birthday to you," and then realized it was like a tone.
It was one of their birthdays. We're like, we gotta do something. We're just staring at her.
So it said sisters, but like, who really did it?
Yeah, right. The other one's like, I was there.
Right. She gets producer credits.
Mildred for sure.
She gets writer credits.
Who is in the like anybody in the stew? I'm just picturing them like sliding the thing up. They're like,
hey, wait, drop this beat real quick. Bring it from the top.
We're gonna run it back. We'll throw some synth on that, harmonize a little bit.
Our friend Lee is a producer, and I just picture him like
just like, oh yeah,
doing his thing.
Yeah, he's British too,
so it makes sense.
It makes more sense in our heads, I think. That's all I have for fun facts.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
What else you got?
I'm not from here. Oh, okay. I have one more thing that will kind of lead into. Do you want to the rest of what we're going to talk about today? We both pulled.
We both looked up shit about Kentucky, and we want to share it with you guys.
But this is so telling of how our academic careers were together growing up. Alex has a 3-page report she printed out. I have like 3 bullet points in here, and I'm probably going to call Chris in to back me up.
It's fine.
You're a scholar. I'm a dollar. Hey, that's sick. Another cool thing about Kentucky is it is one of the 13 Appalachian states. So this is why I wanted to bring him in, because you brought it up yesterday. Okay. You said that you're from there, around there, Eastern Kentucky. Yes. It says the Appalachians are said to be some of the oldest mountains on Earth. I saw a few different sources that would say like 450 million years, 500 million. One said 1 billion
years
old.
I didn't even know the universe was that old.
It was like Pangea shit. Like it was like there. I actually saw. I wish like I couldn't write it down, but I'll kind of explain it. Maybe you can help me visualize it here. But I saw this like interactive map thing where you like you can go like toggle back and forth of how the continents like
shifted.
Yep, and the Appalachians are right there.
And isn't it like a thing that there's another part of what was the entirety of the Appalachian Mountains now in Europe because it's split?
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
You know way more about this.
I don't know more about it, but I've dabbled in
dabble in mountain.
I see a lot of Appalachian stories on
Appalachian.
And
I didn't know that wasn't like I was calling it that too, but then Appalachian is how you pronounce it.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you.
No, yeah, I didn't know either. The Appalachians are named after the Native American tribe, the Appalachee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love
which
that.
I didn't know, which I thought was so cool.
Wow.
And like, I've heard so many creepy stories.
That's what I was going to get at.
So that's what I got overwhelmed with. When we were picking our topics, I told Alex, like, okay, the thing I want to talk about,
it's a big
there's
topic.
Just a lot to say, but it's so cool to talk about. And I mean, that land has been there pretty much forever.
Billions of years.
And they say like there's people that never left.
Oh.
And there's like a lot of like stories and sightings and like things that have happened in and near. Do you have any cool stories, Chris? Because I feel like start thinking. If you think of one, you're more than welcome to pop in. So one that Chris just said that I've even seen. I'm on like Appalachian TikTok.
Yeah.
For some reason.
No, me too.
And like even before I was researching it, like that's kind of why.
That's why I knew that one fact.
Right. TikTok University, baby. And if you're ever like out there camping or hiking or whatever, if you hear your name called, you're just not supposed to respond. And like I even saw one person talking about how they were hiking and they heard their name, and if you hear the name close to you, the entity or whatever is usually far, and if you hear it far, it's close to you. Which,
right? That's
but
not
like,
how ears work.
I'll believe anything. I'll believe
deception.
Anything. Yeah, like they're just like playing tricks on you and everything. So,
ooh, that's creepy.
I saw another story. Again, I'm like, I just took in so much, so I'm brushing over anything. I am not a source to be cited. This is just, and like correct me in the comments if I, say anything wrong or anything. But I saw another story about like this family that had blue skin. I'm not fully confident here, but I saw something about like they were being studied, and they're having kids too, and the kids were coming out blue. And they were like testing blood levels, and I think they found like some, I don't want to say inconsistency, but for lack of a better word, just something different about like their hemoglobin or something.
Okay.
The Fugate or Fugate, F-U-G-A-T family, they were believed to carry between 10 and 20% of blue methemoglobin in their blood. And then I saw somewhere else, like to relate it to us, we're in like 1 to 3%, like the average human.
Right.
So that's a lot.
Why?
Look at, here's a picture. If you guys are listening, look it up yourself.
Blue. And do we know did you come across any like theories as to why?
No,
or is it just
I just saw that it was being studied. I'm sure someone's made up, some
explanation.
Sure, but I think it's got to be a little more scientific than that. But I'm sure someone's
but like
created some
one
lore about it.
bloodline.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. If any of you guys listening know anything deeper about that, please
let us know. I'm interested in the lore.
So there's another, I don't know, I guess we'll call it a story or whatever, called the Brown Mountain Lights. So this is kind of cheating because I know we said Kentucky, but this is more viewed in North Carolina, which we should ask if your brother's like ever seen anything. It's a theory about the Brown Mountain Lights are with many Appalachian folk stories. The most common story is told by Native Americans in the area. Cherokee legends claim that there was a bloody battle between the Catawba and the Cherokee warriors on the Brown Mountain. Mothers, widows, and sisters set out into the mountains after the battle was over, carrying torches to search for their loved ones. This explains the glowing lights as the spirits of the Cherokee women who are still searching. Whatever the Brown Mountain Lights are still seen fairly regularly in North Carolina, most often during the nights between September and November. So we have to ask
my brother
if like
what mountains? Sorry, did they say? Okay, so Chris just confirmed that it's in Pisgah, which is near Asheville, which is near where my brother is. So there's a chance. We'll at least tell him about it and keep an eye out because obviously September, November is coming up.
Yeah. And so I just got like one more little paragraph from it because I looked it up. I'm like, well, are there like roads up there?
Right.
Like
maybe people are actually hiking up there.
But like, listen, in 1922, the United States Ecological Society investigated the Brown Mountain phenomenon and determined that the lights were car lights. However, this was disproven after a massive flood wiped out all the roads and tracks on the mountain, and the lights were still appearing.
Oh, creepy.
That's so cool. I love shit like this.
Oh my God. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. So I wonder what it is. I mean,
it's them.
I believe it.
It's them.
It's
They're
fully
still
them
there.
Still looking for their people.
Oh,
I know. It's everything I was reading about this. These lands, these grounds are so old.
Yeah.
And
they carry a lot.
There's a lot of stories and a lot of energy.
Yes.
A lot of energy. But I have felt good. Granted, we have explored a breadcrumb of I almost said the country. Well, not too, but the state.
The area we're in.
But like, it feels good. It still feels welcoming. And like I could even tell the like sense of community here. We're kind of talking about on the way over here. Like it feels good.
It feels like a positive energy.
So far.
But I've definitely, so in my research, basically what mine is about is kind of about the energy of what's here.
I'm giving you this look because I still feel like I might know what you're about
Probably.
to do.
Are you?
I have one more little thing.
Okay,
just one more little story. This is called The Legend of Pan. Did you see this one?
I did see this one.
So it's told from like someone's personal story. So I'm going to read their story because I'm not going to paraphrase what they're saying.
Okay.
But this is how it goes. On the night of August 1st, under the light of the full moon and at the stroke of midnight, I journeyed into the heart of darkness and discovered the truths, the myths, and the legends surrounding one of Louisville's oldest urban legends. That's the word I was trying to say earlier. I was like, story, urban legends. Jeez. Most popular among residents of the Highlands area, the legend of Pan has been passed down through several generations of Louisvillians. The story tells of the statue of the mythical god Pan, who towers above Hogan's Fountain in the heart of Cherokee Park, luring thirsty travelers and their dogs to the cascading springs below him. As the legend goes, the statue magically comes to life at midnight on nights of a full moon, running amok through the park and causing gremlin-style mischief. Ooh, I love that shit.
They do be doing that.
They do be doing gremlin shit. Over 100 years old, Hogan's Fountain was financed by the Hogan family of Anchorage in 1904. It was sculpted by local artist Enid Yandel, who has also sculpted the famous Daniel Boone statue guarding one of the nearby entrances to the park. It was officially unveiled to the public on August 31st, 1905. And that is my sister's birthday. But
Wow.
1991, not 1905. My sister's a little younger.
Super old.
Could you imagine my older sister's from 1905?
She just turned 100. It's kind of crazy.
Wait, 120? Jesus Christ. Okay, so back to this person's story. They said, as the full moon loomed above me, I turned into the scenic loop just as the witching hour was approaching. The trees on both sides of my car seemed to engulf the road as I traveled down the twisting, winding path. The full moon casted a shadow of spindly, leering branches across the road, making me lean back in my seat into claustrophobic unease.
Oh.
Great writer.
Yeah.
Shout out this guy. When I reached the top of the hill where Pan's Fountain awaited, I parked near the pavilion and walked towards my destination. I'd never explored Cherokee Park at night before. In daylight, this part of the park is always filled with the sounds of families, picnics, bikers, hikers, dogs, and frolicking children. Now, at the stroke of midnight, an eerie silence blankets the entire area with the exception of soothing sounds of water continually streaming in the fountain, which grew seemingly louder as I approached. Then, from approximately 30 feet away, I lifted my gaze to the top of the fountain and froze in my tracks. The great god Pan was gone.
No.
The statue was not there anymore.
Oh.
As my eyes adjusted to the darkness, the illusion revealed itself. The stark white base of the statue stands out in the night's horizon, but the black bronze of the statue itself disappears in the blackness of the surrounding forest, giving the appearance of its absence. It would be easy for anyone driving by to believe that Pan had left his perch at a quick glance, but I think it was an illusion.
Oh, I love that though.
When I read that, I love how it took me through the emotions.
Yes, it feels
Creepy.
very eerie.
But if I lived here, I'm telling my kids that statue is gonna get
running
you.
away.
It's gonna get you.
Yes, you stay inside the house at night.
Or the statue Pan's gonna get you.
Oh, I love that.
We were kind of talking about it yesterday. I just love when humans make little fun meanings and stories out of any kind of urban legend.
Yes.
We just find meaning in everything. So that was one of a more fun, lighthearted one. But yeah,
the Legend of Pan.
Creepy stuff. All right, Alex. I need to know what your story is because mine were bullet points.
I think you knew. I think you saw what I was gonna do.
When we were researching, Alex told me the town that hers was,
Hopkinsville.
Hopkinsville. And I saw one that I was gonna do, but then I saw it was that same town, so I was like, okay, this might be the same one.
Probably.
What is
okay,
it?
so let me just start here. So in doing this research, there is a three, I think it's on 3 seasons. No, 2 seasons now. Documentary called Hellion. Have you heard of Hellion, Chris?
Oh.
Okay, so it goes so deep, and this is what I wanted to.
It.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's basically about sightings of fae, goblins, and it goes deep and it goes way back, and it's a very big piece of history here in Kentucky that I wanted to touch on, but I'm telling you, like, I would have. There's 2 seasons of a documentary, and
we're gonna be watching right
is a
when
lot.
we get home.
So I have, and a lot of it has to do with synchronicities.
Oh, whoa!
And in doing this research, I picked a small bit of what feels like it is connected to this. It's called the Hopkinsville Goblin case.
Yes. Okay, this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this occurred 1955, the night of August 21st and the morning of August 22nd.
What's up with August?
And I'm doing this research and I read August 22nd.
And that's the day you
and
researched
that's the day I researched it. So I'm like, exactly, what is that?
49.
70.
51.
More.
71.
55 to 25 is 69 years ago.
Yeah. Wow, that was hard.
That was a lot. So exactly 69 years ago, from the day that I researched it, this occurred.
That's crazy. And you said there's synchronicities in this.
And the synchronicities of this whole larger phenomenon case, whatever, if you will, has to do with synchronicities. So I was already like, okay, I'm doing this one.
Whoa.
It was crazy.
Whatever energy is about to come through this story, they wanted to be
They wanted to be talked about.
And what better podcast?
I am your vessel.
You turned into a goblin.
Okay, so this is the story of the Hopkinsville Goblin case. Okay, so it actually occurred about 7 miles north of Hopkinsville in Kelly, Kentucky. It's a very significant case because there's a lot of reports, and media was a huge part of the case, and it is one of the first most significant sightings of what people believe to be aliens. They are in a whole bunch of different reports that I came across. They're either referenced as goblins. Little green men is a name that comes up a lot. Yeah, but I'll get there. But
sure,
they actually weren't green. Huh. But it had to do with like the whole alien thing.
Gotcha.
Aliens, you name it. It was just one of the biggest cases at the time. Again, in 1955, and this is a time when UFO sightings were like common. It like more and more occurring. Yep. UFO sightings at the time in the area. Okay, let me get into it. My main sources were a podcast called Monster Talk.
It's cute.
I know, Monster Talk, the science show about monsters with Blake Smith. Go check it out. I didn't get the date that this actual episode was released, but they have been releasing episodes for decades. The way I listened to the podcast was an audio file on their website, and it was like taped.
Because it's not even on Spotify.
Yeah, right. It was taped. So go look up Monster Talk. They have a website.
That's really cool.
And then an article called The Long Surprising Legacy of the Hopkinsville Goblins by Colin Dickey. So go look at that. Go read through that. In the early morning of August 22nd, 1955, right outside of Hopkinsville in Kelly, Kentucky, 8 adults and 3 children went to the police station claiming that goblin-like creatures were attacking their farmhouse, and they were holding them off for about 4 or 5 hours.
Oh my God.
With gunfire. It's crazy. So when they went into the police station, they were very visibly distraught. One of the kids was like actively throwing up because they were so scared. They pulled up in 2 cars and like hopped out the vehicle, ran into the police station.
Like frantic.
We were just attacked by goblins.
Imagine.
Yeah.
The front desk is like,
okay,
can you sign in?
It's like the DMV. Can you wait in line? Grab a number. The individuals that were at the farmhouse, the main resident, her name was Glennie Lankford, and she had 3 younger children, Lonnie, Charlton, and Mary, and then 2 older sons from a previous marriage, Elmer Sutton, who went by Lucky, his wife Vera, John Charlie Sutton, and his wife Aileen, and then Aileen's brother, O.P. Baker, and then another couple, Billy Ray Taylor and his wife June. Jeez. So a lot of people, names. And it was a very small, I think like a 1 or 2 bedroom farmhouse. Okay. A big plot of land though. Billy Ray.
Cyrus?
Literally every time I was reading this and I was typing Billy Ray, I was like, I only pictured Billy Ray Cyrus.
Did you see the TikToks going around of like the audio of him yelling at his wife and shit?
And and he's like super anti-Miley.
Yeah, it's super crazy.
It's crazy.
It's devastating.
Okay, but this Billy Ray seemed to have
different Billy Ray.
Doesn't matter. On the night of the 21st, so the night before they went to the police station.
Okay.
Billy Ray walks outside to get water from the well on the land, and he sees what he describes as a big flying saucer shoot overhead, and it had lights, shoot overhead and land in a field nearby. So homeboy's like, what the fuck? He goes inside, grabs a pistol. Actually,
as you do.
The first time he grabbed a shotgun. There are multiple guns at the house.
Okay.
And they're obviously a big part of the story because they held off the goblins with guns.
Right.
He goes inside, gets a gun, also gets Lucky, who also grabs a gun and goes back outside. Before he goes back outside, he tells everyone what he saw, and everyone's like, it's been said in a few articles that Billy Ray is kind of an unreliable source. Like, he's kind of a cuckoo guy.
Fibber.
Yeah. So no one really believes him at first. And they're inside, and later on, as soon as the sun goes down, they hear the dogs going crazy outside, and he's hiding under the porch. So that's when Billy Ray and Lucky go back out with shotguns. As they're walking outside of the house, there's like a low hanging porch right outside the front door. He's walking outside, and one of the kids sees a long fingered hand drop down over the awning of the roof and touch Billy Ray's hair.
Oh my God. I believe every part of the story.
Every bit of it. Okay.
Oh, I love this.
Okay, so this is their description of what these goblins looked like. So they get outside. They describe seeing goblin-like creatures with oversized heads. They're around 3 to 4 feet tall, huge glowing eyes with hands that are out of proportion with its body, long talons, and they say it looks like they're wearing some kind of metal plate. So they're like shiny and reflective.
Okay. They sound cute.
They do sound cute. And they describe them as like glowing. And then whenever they moved, they described them as floating around. So they didn't walk, but they floated.
Okay.
So jumping to when Billy Ray is describing this at the police station, he describes that they're like shooting nonstop out the window. If they see anything go by, they're shooting out the window. They're shooting at the front door. So when the police later on the next morning come and look at the grounds, there's gunshots everywhere around the house.
Shells.
Yeah. And there are shells on the grounds, and then gun holes in the window, in the front door, throughout the whole house.
Right.
When they're standing under the awning, and then one of the kids sees the claw come down and touch Billy Ray's hair, Lucky pushes past Billy Ray, runs outside and aims up turns around, shoots the goblin that's on the roof, and he tumbles over onto the other side of the roof. That's when Billy Ray turns around and he sees another goblin in a tree, and it floated down onto the ground. So this is important to note. They only see 2 goblins at a time, at once.
Whoa. Okay.
But throughout reports, and like I said earlier, there's a lot of like media surrounding this occurrence, and there's a lot of misinformation that went around. So you'll see articles and reports that say there were like up to 15 goblins at a time, and it was a whole pack of them. But based on Billy Ray's retelling of what happened, there were only 2 at a time.
Okay.
That they saw.
Gotcha.
Okay, so they went back into the house after all this, and that's when they claimed that this long like battle with the gunfire takes about 4 to 5 hours. They keep popping up into windows, peeking around the house.
Teasing them almost.
Yeah, teasing them. But also notably, every time that they shot the gun at the goblins, it was almost as if like it didn't do anything to them. So it didn't, like, nothing ever penetrated. There was no blood or anything. They were basically like immune to the gunfire, if you will.
Or they're they exist in a different dimension, so they're not affected by
Totally.
our shit.
Totally. I could see that.
You know?
Right at around 11 p.m. is when everything started to like lull with this gunfire. They didn't see any for a minute, and that's when they hopped in the 2 cars and ran to the police station, started retelling their story. The cops are like, all right, let's go check this out. So they named like 4 different people from the Air Force Base, troopers, state troopers, sheriff, police, like different groups of officials,
like
responders
Okay.
went to the house and found nothing. No footprints.
That'd be so frustrating.
Obviously no flying saucer.
Sure.
No, like I said, no blood was found.
Yeah.
No like sign of forced entry. The only like evidence that corroborated their story was all of the gunfire, the shell casings, and the bullet holes in the windows and everything.
But they're probably thinking like, oh, this cuckoo family.
Cuckoo
especially-
family.
This is 55, you said?
Yes.
Like they're not believing crazy stories. People barely believe crazy stories now.
Right.
And it's like, I can only imagine like how quickly they just wrote off that you were crazy.
Totally.
You know?
But the only thing is like I said, there were
It was being reported a lot.
there were 8 adults there and 3 children, and everyone's story lined up.
Yeah.
Everyone had the same story. So they had a sketch artist come and all of their descriptors of what it looked like were the same, except for Billy Ray gave them antennas and no one else said antennas. So that was kind of one thing that was a little classic Billy, just fluffing up the story. You know what I mean? Okay, so when they went, they obviously didn't find anything. Once the troopers left, the family claimed that the creatures came back and were there. It was around like 3:30 after the troopers ended up heading out, and the creatures were there lurking around.
Watching the whole time.
Yeah. Lurking around until right before the sunrise. So from sunset to sunrise is when this whole thing occurred.
What a night.
Okay. So this is the aftermath of what happened. Do you have a question?
No.
Okay.
Oh, no, I was just stretching my arm out. No, I'm getting ready. My hands are kind of sweaty.
Right. Okay, so the
I just
aftermath.
feel like I'm going to have really weird dreams tonight.
Probably.
Yeah.
So, like I said, the media frenzy, once word got out about this, reporters, photographers, people in the area, like I said, it was around a time where everyone was like, there was a big lore around UFO sightings.
Right.
So everyone was like, I want to check it out. So they had people around their house consistently in and out. Like I said, reporters in and out trying to talk to the family. Let me just read this bit. Once the family started retelling their story over and over again, that's when skeptics were like, this doesn't sound right. They started to get a lot of backlash over what happened.
Yep.
So the family then became reluctant to sharing their story. So after that first like little frenzy of media, there's not much like reliable retelling of what actually happened.
Yep.
Like I said, a sketch artist had come to the house. Each family member described the same looking creature except for Billy Ray. Glennie, who's the mother, she said it looked like a 5-gallon gas can with a head on top and small legs, shimmering bright metal like a refrigerator. That was her descriptor for what it looked like.
I see it.
And remember, they said it glowed. They also thought that it might have been sensitive to light because every time they would go out and like try and shoot the thing, it would run from the porch light. There were like 2 porch lights that were on, and it would run from the porch light and try and hide in the dark, which
Maybe
makes
that's
sense.
why they came so late.
Sundown to sunup. Another big reason why the family started to get a ton of hate is because obviously this is like one big occurrence and no one ever reported of seeing them again. They never came back. No one had ever described something that looked like this after this occurrence.
Yeah.
So they were like, all right, this has to be like a hoax that they're all in on.
This is so frustrating.
It's so frustrating.
I'm sure, and if any of you listening have any ties, please let us know. But like, this is 55. I'm sure their grandkids are alive.
At least.
At least.
I mean, think about it. Our parents were born in, well, I guess 69.
Yeah.
But these little kids.
The little kids are probably still alive.
Yeah.
I want to hear more.
Please.
Because I believe it.
I fully believe it.
Yes.
I fully believe it. Okay, so as far as the explanation goes and like the theories behind what actually happened, there is a well-known paranormal skeptic named Joe Nickel who he often will take like UFO sightings and alien sightings, and he'll give his scientific approach to like what actually happened.
Respect.
Okay, so it's a general consensus, and most skeptics agree that what the families saw that night were likely a pair of great horned owls, which are nocturnal. They fly silently, which could be like the floating thing. They have yellow eyes and they aggressively defend their nests. So that's why the one in the tree, there could have been a nest up there.
Are they that big?
They are so like I said, Billy Ray had said they were about 4 to 5 feet or 3 to 4 feet, something like that. And these owls can get up to the low end of, so about a little bit over, owl. 3 feet tall. Yes.
Toddler owls.
They are very big. Ugh. And then as far as the flying saucer, there was apparently a meteor shower that night, which could explain the UFO. When he described seeing the object in the sky, he stated it was a bright light streaking across the sky.
That's how you always hear UFO sightings, though.
Yes. So like, which one is it? It's probably
like a flash.
Yeah.
I'm gonna believe it's aliens.
I'm fully gonna believe it's aliens.
And like, I think we should.
Yeah.
Obviously, we could sit here all day, and skeptics literally do that for a living. Like, what it is, what it was, what it could be, because science, But like, I think that's where humans become small-minded. We bring it. We think we know everything, so we bring it back to the only possibility we can fathom.
Yes.
Whereas, like, no,
these were probably goblins
for sure.
And Glennie described the creatures. Remember I said they have big eyes and they had no pupils, so it was like all one. The way that they described it in the podcast, I'm telling you, please go listen. It's terrifying.
My reaction just now, I like felt bad because now I'm thinking they probably have a podcast, 2 little gremlin girls.
Yes.
And they're like, I saw a human and
Literally.
she had these like weird nails and like, they're like, eh. And they're like, yeah, they have like pupils and like one had a nose ring. And they're like, yeah, they were so ugly and scary.
Literally.
You should listen to their podcast. They sound terrifying. Like, you know, I always think about that.
Yeah. Like,
sorry, girls.
He was just walking around, those little goblins.
They were probably scared.
They were so scared.
They sound really cute.
They do. Well, the big hands is what scares me.
Super weird. That's where I draw the line. Don't touch my hair. But I'm picturing the like, we are eternally grateful from Toy Story. I'm picturing the little green aliens from there. Like they're just these little like walk around. Okay, so speaking of films, this was like my favorite part of this whole case. The reason why this is a very significant case is because it has inspired many alien films. Okay.
So, in 1977, Steven Spielberg is just coming off the hype of his film Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
What a guy.
Right. And he was ready to get going on the sequel of this movie. And he turned to a man named J. Allen Hynek, who was an astronomer who was brought onto Project Blue Book, which is an umbrella investigation into unidentified aerial phenomena, which is backed by the Air Force as an advisor. So he actually came on to advise and as a skeptic to explain like UFO sightings
for the movie.
Well, yes, but with this Project Blue Book, which is like a national investigation of like all these sightings, everything's reported to them and they like debunk it, if you will. And like I said, it's backed by the Air Force.
No, they study it and then they hide the information.
Right. So this guy, Jay Allen, comes on. And he's originally hired on as a skeptic to explain things as like with a scientific backing, but he has encountered so many cases that he is now a believer.
See?
He is now a believer.
See? And that's where the believers started. Oh, Haley and Justin had their baby.
Oh, yeah.
Woo.
Congrats.
Jack Blues Bieber.
Blues.
Whatever. We all knew that. You think?
No.
They're like, babe, we met under the sky.
Under the stars.
We should call him Blues. Baby, you're so romantic.
I love you, baby.
Performs baby.
Every time. To the kid. Okay.
Oh, stupid. We're dumb.
Okay, so yes, in turn, not only did this guy work with Project Blue Book, but Steven Spielberg had hired him on to be an advisor for Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and then again to help with the sequel. Okay. So they started with a script, we're writing it out, but then Spielberg ended up working on other projects. So he brought the script to a Hollywood writer by the name of Melissa Matheson. So Spielberg's script was derived from, sorry, I missed this part. Jay Allen had told Spielberg about this Hopkinsville case.
Okay.
And that's where he drew inspiration for two aliens.
Okay.
That one of them was really friendly and the other one was like evil. And the evil one had an extended long finger, big hands.
Yeah.
With a glowing light at the end.
Got it.
And when he scrapped the sequel, he gave the script to, like I said, the woman named Melissa Matheson, who combined the two aliens, and that's how we have E.T. Right?
That's so sick.
So that's how E.T. was derived.
And I even had that thought when he touched his hair.
Yeah.
I pictured
Alien. Yeah.
I pictured E.T.
Like right.
Oh my gosh.
She ended up combining the two aliens that Spielberg had wrote about from the Hopkinsville case, the friendliness, and then the long fingers, glowing, big guy.
Yeah, big guy.
Yeah. So that's how we have E.T.
Wow, this is so cool. I did not think it would come back to this.
Right?
That's
okay,
so cool.
But there's more. So
wait,
there's more. So the story also ended up inspiring so many other films like the Gremlins, Critters, Spielberg's The Poltergeist, which surrounds a family who is under siege from supernatural forces, so they're stuck in the house, which is from the Hopkinsville case. They're all stuck in the house firing at supernatural forces.
Right.
And also M. Night Shyamalan's Signs.
Okay, and I thought that with the finger too, because that's like
the finger
part of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Signs and E.T. from this case. Like, how cool.
Maybe my heart and my head are going crazy right now, but like I feel like aliens, they don't want to scare us. I think they give us things that inspire us as a species. Because the fact 100%. That now you just named so much art, and that probably skimmed the surface of what a story like this can inspire to, like, for humans.
Right.
And I just love how we give meaning to everything. I just think that's like so cool.
And this one family who had a fucking crazy ass night.
Wild night. That nap the next day?
Last night was a movie. Literally.
Last night is now a movie.
It's now Signs.
So dumb.
But like they had a crazy night, and it's actually like quite sad because the fact that not a lot of people ended up believing them. The hoax side of it.
I fucking believe them. I hate
fully.
That shit. Yeah.
But imagine the long-lasting effect that it has, like your story telling it. And the fact that all of them, for the most part, reported seeing the exact same figure, and like how those descriptors have now become one of the most iconic alien visuals that we have now, E.T., because of that.
Yep.
It's so cool.
That's probably where, like you said, like the little green man, like that, this could have been what spiraled like every little alien emoji you see and stuff, and like how people draw aliens, and it's just... It's so crazy to think about, but I believe them entirely. I have people in my family, my dad especially has had several alien sightings, and I have believed him the second he told me, and a lot of people never believed him, and I feel like now society's starting to believe this stuff more and more. Well,
it didn't the CIA like literally say,
they're like, it's for sure
aliens are real, guys.
Yeah, so believe it, but I'm not scared of them, and call it my little naive human brain.
I'm not scared of them.
I just, everything you do hear, sightings and whatnot, like I'm not saying their sole purpose that night with this family was to, do one thing and inspire all that art we just listed, but like I think they're here to be known, but not to disturb. I think they're observing us the same way we're observing them.
Right. And actually, I don't think I mentioned this, but
because if they wanted to kill us, they
wanted
could fucking kill
exactly.
us. And who's to say that's not coming? Knock on wood. But like, they, you know,
right.
I think they're here to just like vibe.
Totally.
Like literally vibrate.
A lot of the early reports stated that the family like kind of made it clear that it was never like a threat. They never
scared,
touched or tried to do anything.
Yep.
They were just there.
Yep. I mean, have you watched The Arrival?
Yes.
Watched The Arrival? If you have not watched The Arrival, any listeners, just go watch it. They're here to tell us something.
Yeah.
Is what we're getting to, and I believe it wholeheartedly.
Yeah. So that's the Hopkinsville Goblin case.
That was incredible. Thank you for presenting that. Like,
of course. No, I was hyped.
I feel like you need to like date it, write your name at the top, turn it in. Like that was very good, very well said. And I saw that one too. I saw some really cool like the ads that they were putting in papers. Did you see that?
No.
They were like just funky little illustrations of all these sightings they were putting in papers.
Yeah, that's probably like the craze that I skimmed over.
A cool poster.
Oh yeah.
They were cute though, but it was like the horror. Like they were making it so like ooga booga.
And I think that's why like even the fact that when Steven Spielberg picked it up and it was going to be a horror movie, like I think people just naturally want to turn like
the unknown.
The unknown into scary,
which yes.
In an art form it makes sense.
Yeah, it's a linear kind of way to look at it, but I also think it's really cool.
Really cool. Yay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have super crazy dreams.
Yeah.
I don't mean to get dark.
Oh.
But I just need to spit. This is irrelevant, but I need to tell you this in live.
Okay.
When we were in our hotel room this morning and I was like getting ready, I had this like inkling of death.
Oh.
And like not in like a like super scary way, but like, you know when people say you could smell death?
Yeah.
I smelled death.
Oh, I hate that.
And while you were talking, my mom texted me and our old landlord died this morning. Yeah, remember Bill?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was my dentist.
Oh,
so R.I.P. He lived a long life. I hope he rests in peace. I know this is maybe super irrelevant to any listeners, but
you felt it.
I felt it.
Yeah.
I really did feel it. And then to get that text.
That's icky.
Yeah. I don't know. I just had to share that with
R.I.P.
you.
Bill.
R.I.P. Bill. He's a great guy. Like, really soft teddy bear type of energy. And, it's just a weird moment for me. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. But so if you smell death, it's coming.
Yeah.
Sorry
about that. Don't turn away from that.
Stinky.
Earlier on, I had mentioned the larger theme of what I had just talked about, and I said Hellion. It's actually Hellier. So correcting myself, it's an R, not an N at the end.
Yeah.
But go look at that too. I definitely want to watch that documentary.
I want to watch that documentary.
We should.
So bad. I feel like I'm gonna want to deep dive.
And back to the synchronicity bit. As you guys know, we're both reading ACOTAR right now. So when I saw a story about Fae sightings, done.
Sign me up. And when I saw it too, I was like, that's so relevant. How far are you right now?
I am at the end of A Court of Wind and something.
The third one. Right?
I'm on the third book.
And I'm like a sixth through the second one. I haven't had a lot of time to read because before this I was in California for my grandpa's 80th birthday. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of just having this like realization right now after that story and everything, and you know, talking about the history of the grounds here. I don't know. I could just feel it, and I even felt it like before we got here. Even in the Bay, I was having these types of conversations with family, and like I don't know. I just like we have been called here.
Yes, and I've seen so many angel numbers while we've been here.
Yeah. I don't know. I just. You get what I'm trying to say, right?
Everything feels very on track.
Yeah, we're supposed to be here. Even our conversation last night,
we had
an amazing dinner with Chris behind the camera and Craig, the president of the United States playing card company. And it was just such good company and such a good conversation to even give it words. Like that doesn't even do it justice, but it's just been one of those trips and
meant to be.
Yeah, like we've cried several times. Like I don't know. This is just so cool, and we just want to thank you guys for if you were any of the people who DM'd bicycle.
Like, do you guys remember that episode where we were, I don't even know
Can
how.
someone tell us what episode it was?
Yeah.
I don't remember, but it was just a little bit we did. And like,
yeah,
I don't know, just to see where it's brought us now and the opportunity to sit here and, I mean, 4 seasons later and still be sitting here talking is one thing, but to look at the walls, look where we are. And like the fact that this is even our job, and it's been a high energy last few days, to say the least. And
very thankful.
I'm just I just feel full of gratitude right now, and it's just a cool full circle moment. So thank you for allowing us to film it. Thank you for watching it. But shit,
thank
even if nobody
there.
fucking watched or listened to this episode, I am so full.
Oh yeah,
I am so like.
And thank you so much
happy.
to Bicycle for even inviting us out here, and
this is a dream
knowing
come true.
who we are. And we have a deck with them, if you don't know.
Oh yeah, should we plug that, you guys?
Go. It's linked below.
Yes, it's always linked below. The deck of decks. You go to Bicycle's website. We put a lot of fucking work into this.
So, oh my God.
Alex single-handedly went in and did every stroke you see. I was just there rubbing her back. But the creative behind it is truly a beautiful marriage of our brains and our imagination and our, I mean, we've sat there and picked every single color. If you look at the detail and like the front of the card, every little thing has a meaning. There's even some really cool
hidden gems,
little gems in there that we just like wanted to throw in as, I guess, an Easter egg, if you will. But
it's our baby, and it's one of those things where I look at it and I think, being a designer, I think about old projects a lot.
Yeah, and
there's a lot of projects that I'm like, ugh,
what was I doing? Right, yeah.
But like, this is something, every time I look at it, I'm in awe, and I'm just so proud, and it's such a beautiful deck, and it's just so symbolic and representative of the work that we do, and this connection that we now have with Bicycle, and it's not stopping anytime soon.
Nope. So thank you, Bicycle. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And I don't know, this just feels like a really cool moment for us, and I'm just grateful that we could even document it in a way like this. Like, we get to look back and re-listen to this. And thank you, Kentucky, for having us. Good night.
Good night, Kentucky.
And Ohio. Or Cincinnati. Not all of Ohio.
Yeah.
I could see myself living here. I saw a cute boy at the bar, you guys.
Yeah, you guys were chopping it up for a minute.
He was super cute. I walked in and I was just standing like with my hand on my hip, like watching other people play pool or whatever. And I caught eyes with him, and he put his hand on his hip and like mimicked me, and then walked over and we were just talking for a little bit. So his name was Nick.
Nick, if you're listening.
It's just the most basic name, but like, hey, if there's a Nick out there and you remember, we were at the main Strass Village Tavern or pub or whatever I said. I didn't get your number, so I love you and I miss you, baby.
He's for sure a believer.
Hot. My type. My type. I need a man.
Looks like tatted, that. And then
right, because he's tatted. He had like gauges. Like, he was so cute.
No, he was a vibe.
But I could tell he was like a teddy bear.
Oh, for sure. And he was like, that's the thing. He wasn't like too cool.
No.
At all.
No,
like, he was helping me with my shot and shit. Like, he was just a vibe. Yeah.
He was a vibe. So, I don't know. Maybe in the next life. Like,
or maybe he was an alien.
He was a little green man.
Goblin. He morphs into a human. All right, guys. After this, we are going to see, as Kristen mentioned, Factory 52, which is the old factory. We're now at the current factory.
Yeah, new school.
Yeah, the old factory, which they've turned into like a really cool community thing with a whole bunch of restaurants, and there's like people live there. We're going to go there, play cards, probably drink a cocktail.
Some bourbon. We gotta try it.
Yeah, I'll sip.
But like we said, that will all be vlogged. You guys will see that soon. And yeah, that's it. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure you rate and review us. It does help out the show a lot. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed, turn on your notifications, and make sure that little bell is clicked, because YouTube is weird about, even if you subscribe, they don't send you notifications. That's a whole other issue.
And if you don't know, we have a Patreon where every Friday we do, I already know what you're going to say. Every Friday we do an extra episode for you guys. So a lot of the times it has to do with Monday's episode. A lot of the time it is a general advice column. So go check that out. There's 3 different tiers. It's always linked below. for this week's Patreon.
Yeah.
Alien sightings
and any like Appalachian stories.
Yeah.
If you're from that area or if your parents are from that area or anything, there is so much
or
lore,
anything,
to say the least, that
right.
it interests me so much, and I did get overwhelmed, and this is so reflective of how I was in school. I would get overwhelmed.
You're like, I like
can't
it.
Do it.
I like it. I'll listen to it.
But I'm not gonna.
You won't do the.
I'm not gonna do the research. But like, it's in like the passion's there. I don't know.
You're an admirer.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it.
I don't like doing reports that much.
Also, anything supernatural.
Yeah.
Just send it over. We love to read that shit.
Spooky season's around the corner.
Yeah.
So I feel like we'll kick it off with this episode, and let us know how you guys like these episodes. We've done a few kind of like, I'll call them report-based or report like
research
style
ones. Yeah.
episodes. It seemed like you guys liked them, so I'm down to always go down like the creepy route.
Yeah.
With spooky season and stuff. But we
All
love
right,
you guys.
guys.
Have a good week, and we'll talk to you Friday if you're on Patreon, and next Monday if you're not. Love you guys.
Bye.